Data shows that China's manufacturing sector experienced a modest contraction in June, while the recovery in non-manufacturing sectors slowed. The official manufacturing PMI remained at 49.5 in June. That's the same as the previous month and below the 50 mark that separates expansion and contraction. But the sub-index for high-tech manufacturing, that was over 52, showing that high-end manufacturing expanded at a faster pace. Meanwhile, the non-manufacturing PMI was above 50 in June, but slowed compared with the previous few months. China's private Caixin manufacturing PMI survey, which covers smaller firms, reached a three-year peak of 51.8 in June, supported by robust supply, domestic demand, and exports. Well, for more on China's June PMI readings, I want to bring in Jameel Ahmad, Chief Analyst at GTC Group. Jameel, thanks for joining us on the program. So looking closer at the components of June's official manufacturing PMI shows that production is expanding and that purchasing managers are quite optimistic, I would say, about improving business conditions down the road. However, the new order sub-index, that reveals that demand remains soft. So what's your overall take on what June factory activity says about the state of Chinese industry?
I think there's a little bit of hot and a little bit of cold there. Overall, we have to also take into account that when it comes to this specific data, we're also looking at some of the global factors. For example, global factors such as demand for Chinese goods also then will result in what the impact will be for local Chinese industries. And I think that this is one of the moments where we're seeing that the Chinese economic engine is moving again, but it's not moving at the same pace it was a couple of years ago. We still think that 5% annual growth for China is achievable and is obtainable, which is a positive overall. But we are seeing a bit of a stop-start from the data. More recently, data certainly picked up. But as we're seeing for some of these figures that are coming out over the weekend, that some figures are also showing that we have some more room for growth. And I would then summarize how that data has unfolded and what the overall analysis is for this data we're speaking about now.
So, Jameel, the official purchasing managers reading from the National Bureau of Statistics, that zooms in on some of the larger state-owned enterprises here in China. But the Caixin manufacturing PMI, which focuses more on smaller private firms, that showed factory activity expanding at its fastest pace since May of 2021. We saw Wang Zhe, a senior economist at Caixin Insight Group, saying that supply, domestic demand and exports kept improving in June. So taken together, what does the official and the Caixin PMI readings tell you about the overall health of China's economy?
Exactly. It tells us that the Chinese economy is turning the corner. Perhaps it's not turning the corner as fast as what some would want it to. And there's a couple of different reasons why some would want this corner to be taken very fast. And that comes down to China being the second largest economy of goods and the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. So overall, we have many economies throughout the world in different jurisdictions and different territories that are so reliant on demand from China for its goods. So any potential softness that comes from the data, whether it's the manufacturing PMIs, the services PMIs, or any of the other numerous metrics that China releases every month, they're looked at under a microscope because the Chinese economy has been structured differently to some of the other global peers, where basically it's the trading center of the world. And that's why China's always under the microscope, specifically when it comes to the PMIs, whether it's the official ones or the non-official ones. But overall, I would say that we're seeing some signs that momentum is picking up. I think the second half of 2024, we have room to be optimistic because the first half we did see in the second quarter particularly, data got better. But we still have a long way to go in terms of seeing where the global economy fits 6 months from now, because anything can change.
Right. Jameel, so June's official manufacturing PMI shows that the new economic drivers of China's economy, for example, high-tech manufacturing, that remains robust, expanding for an 8th straight month. So talk to us about what you see in terms of the resilience when it comes to high-tech manufacturing, and especially for some of the more innovation-driven sectors of the Chinese economy.
Yes, this is the structural change, and it's part of the evolution, as I see it, as China's economy. China's economy is no longer just a low-cost, low-based manufacturing hub, which is what it typically was when China was going through its big boom. Now China is trying to develop more high specialist jobs in tech and other sectors as well, which goes to show that the overall economy and the population is becoming more capable. And again, this will take time, but as part of that evolution, to see that jobs are being created or activity is increasing in tech and innovation sectors, it does show that some of those objectives towards transforming the structural element of the Chinese economy, it is making progress. But again, it takes time.
Okay, Jameel, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks for insights on all of this. Jameel Ahmad, Chief Analyst at GTC Group. Thank you, Jameel.